Hello everyone, this is Suzanne at The Gospel Truth. Today is Monday. It's around the 21st, 22nd, I think. I think when you're seniors, you don't keep track of the days, but the date kind of escapes you sometimes. All I know is it's getting toward the end of the month. All right, I got my favorite Gap little sweatshirt on. I know I wear this a lot in my videos. It is clean each time. It's very comfy. And then I usually just slip it off when I get done. But so if you see me with this on a lot, it's just my comfort shirt, I guess. Do you have a comfort shirt? We all should have a comfort shirt. Okay, when we left off in our book, Master Potter and the Mountain of Fire, if you've been following along with the first book, Master Potter, and now we're into the second book, you can always jump in at any time. Starting back at the first of the series, they build on each other, but I kind of do a quick review. So last time when we were on, we were taking a look at Purity, and Amazing Grace was with her, and she says, I can forgive my mother, Purity thinks. I just don't know if she'll forgive me. Oh, she truly doesn't know her mother, does she? Okay. Chapter 13, Eternal Adornment. Beloved wakes in the morning still in Master Potter's arms. Now, Beloved, for those of you that don't know, that's Purity's mother. When she opens her eyes, the first thing she sees are his eyes glazing lovingly into hers. After receiving ministry and encouragement from him, somewhat reluctantly, she follows him back into the glazing room to resume control of her team. Still embarrassed, she gathers them around and says, I know by now you have heard that I've lost my children. Needless to say, it's the most painful thing in my life. I had hopes and dreams of what reconciling with Purity would look like, and obviously yesterday wasn't it. I would value your prayers on her behalf. Now, Purity and her mom had had a confrontation, and Purity told her mom flat out, I will never forgive you. I understand if you no longer have faith in my leadership, you probably could get reassigned to another set. No hard feelings if you want to talk to Master Potter. Who's leaving? I'm not leaving, says Comrade, standing to his feet. You're an awesome leader, and I'll follow you anywhere. Master Potter designated you as leader of our set. You'll help me reach my destiny. I'm not settling for second best, Champion says. Me too, says Generosity. We were all placed here together because of our different strengths and weaknesses. We all need to be here to function as a team. One by one, the other members pledged their determination to stay. We need to pray for Purity's return. We're not complete without her, says Comrade. The 7 mugs gather around Beloved and pray for her and for Purity's safe reunion. Master Potter watches from a distance like a proud father. That's how my team functions and becomes family. We need to encourage and help others when they're going through difficult times. I have an estranged son. I haven't seen him in well over 15, maybe 20 years. And it breaks my heart. I've reached out to him, but he's out there hopeless. He's lost. And I have to give him into God's hands and ask for prayers on his behalf. That is very, very important. Promoted. A little later, Beloved takes Comrade aside. Thank you for being there for me. It's not over yet, Beloved. I'm still believing she'll come back. You've been such a good friend through thick and thin. I want to ask you if you'd like to be my second in command. I love and trust you. Oh, Beloved, I'm honored to be your assistant. Calling the team together again, she announces, we have reason for celebration. I've just promoted Comrade to be my second in command. Anytime you can't find me, you may go to him. I trust him, and I know he will help us to complete our journey safely. Excuse me. Okay. Who's first? Master Potter surveys his glazing room where thousands of vessels are being prepared for the high fires. He nods approvingly. Rembrandt, one of the head artistic angels, walks up to their table, stretches his beautiful golden wings, and says, "It's time for promotion and celebration. All right, watch closely so you won't be afraid when it's your turn," she says, her voice shakingly. Rembrandt picks her up and pours a white milky glaze inside her vessel. She feels it swishing around and coating her inside as she's turned in his hands. Her head spins as the motion continues. Then he empties the excess glaze back into the container and wipes her rim clean. This glaze looks like dull, matted house paint when I apply it, says Rembrandt, holding Beloved up. It's only after the glass or silica particles melt in the high fires that your true colors will come out. Then you'll be beautiful. Before she has a chance to say thank you, Rembrandt holds her by her foot, turning her upside down, and pours glaze all around the outside of her vessel, cleaning her foot of excess glaze. Then he sets her back on the table to dry. She encourages her team. "That was wonderful. It's a little disorienting, but it's not painful at all. I can't wait to see what Rembrandt will do with each of you." Comrade shouts, "I'll go next and show you guys how it's done." "Hey, confidence and self-assurance, I'm one step ahead of you. How do you like my leadership style?" Honoring his request, Rembrandt picks up Comrade and begins to glaze him as he cries out to his friends below, "Look, guys, I'm flying." The angels smile at each other, amused by the antics of the little mug. All the vessels eagerly line up, waiting for their turn to receive as they watch the others getting glazed. The joyful vessels sway and sing and clap as each one returns. Their guardian angels all rejoice in the celebration. Mugs and angel wings. Using brushes loaded with colored pigments, the artistic angels hand-paint beautiful borders and designs. Intricate flowers, birds, and nature scenes are meticulously applied according to Master Potter's individualized plan for each vessel. Dipping various paintbrushes into the colorful pigments, Rembrandt dabs gold filigree trim around Beloved's top and carefully paints an angel on her side. Using delicate strokes, he releases eternity into the dull, matted glaze. Each stroke leaves an invisible trail of dazzling brilliance. Setting her aside to dry, he meticulously paints angel wings on each of the 7 mugs. A mysterious and profound secret is taking place as eternal adornment is applied to each of his creations. The vessels can neither see nor comprehend the splendor and glory that covers them, but hidden in their glaze is the immeasurable depth and fiery passion of the bridegroom for his bride. Master Potter and his angelic team work diligently until they have completed their task. Each vessel is positioned according to his or her sovereignly appointed purposes and covered in his veiled glory. The Father looks down at the glazing room, taking great pleasure in the beauty of his handiwork manifested in them. His handiwork manifested in them. That sounds great, doesn't it? What does the future hold? Chapter 14. Beloved and her team of mugs are placed on a board and carried to an empty shelf at the end of the glazing room. A blast of frigid winter wind draws their attention back to the windows, and the white, lacy snow flurries outside. The vessels are thrilled to be glazed, even if it doesn't reveal the ultimate color of their final destiny. They wonder what will happen to them next as they look down upon rows of shelves. Each row is filled with recently glazed vessels chatting with one another about their new appearance. Comrade and Beloved look across the shelves with excitement as they see their old friend Joyful surrounded by other goblets. Comrade calls out to her, "Joyful, over here, it's me, Comrade. You look great. I love the grapevine design. It's really slenderizing. Look who I have with me. Look at the awesome team Master Potter set me in." She gestures toward Fearless. "He's my team leader. Isn't that great? Who would have thought Master Potter would put me in with an old friend?" Fearless looks up and waves at Beloved. But before he can say anything, the vessels hear whistling from across the room. Beloved's eyes light up as she recognizes the shape of a familiar teapot, now glazed white and painted with roses. Golden incense! Over here, it's me! All the vessels chattered loudly and excitedly about their commissioning and glazing. As daylight fades into night, hundreds of more glazed vessels are placed on the shelves and join the festivities. Master Potter lights brass oil lanterns, which hang from wooden posts throughout the room. The artistic angels continue to glaze and paint beautiful designs on each until each vessel has been completed. Will we survive? In spite of Comrade's snoring, the other vessels doze off. Beloved is awake, longing for purity, and beginning to feel apprehensive about the high firing ahead. Lord, will we survive? What if I don't make it, or I can't lead the others through it? In answer to her prayer, she feels the warm breath of Holy Spirit covering her like a feather comforter. He gently reminds her of Master Potter's prophetic words of destiny spoken over her life. Her mind travels back in time to the fireside room where Master Potter transformed himself into the bridegroom. Re-entering his holy visitation, deep love is reawakened in Beloved, driving out all fear of the dreaded high fires. She sees the shimmering wedding gowns covered in pearls and the burning passion in his fiery eyes for her. With renewed courage mixed with a tinge of sadness, she again accepts the invitation to be his warrior bride and finally falls into a deep, peaceful sleep. Part 2, The Formidables. Okay, we'll read one more chapter, chapter 15, The Pottery Wagons. Early the next morning, Rembrandt shouts the order to open the massive wooden doors at the end of the glazing room. Cold winter wind rushes in and startles the vessels out of their cozy sleep. Huge Clydesdales snort their hot breath into the frigid morning air as they back the pottery wagon to the door. The creaking of the wheels and the driver's voices calling out signals add to the clamor. Horses stomp their white tufted hoofs, stirring up the rich odor of damp leather harnesses. The drivers climb down, taking off their heavy winter work coats and rolling up their sleeves. They join in the hustle and bustle of the angelic workers loading the wagons. Rise and shine. The half-asleep mugs begin grumbling about all the noise and cold wind blowing through the shelves. Cranky, Comrade yells. What's all the racket about? What time is it anyway? Harvester complains. No one in his right mind should be up at this hour. And from where did those horses come? Comrade shakes his buddy. Hey, Fearless, it's time to get up. Wiping sleep from his eyes, Fearless says excitedly, it's about time we got our marching orders. This is what we've been waiting for. Golden incense whispers. Did anyone put the tea on? I'm so cold my teeth are chattering. Are we really going out in this blizzard? Asked Comrade. Beloved tries to encourage her team. Listen, soon we'll be beautiful glazed vessels on our way to the nations, and this will only be a memory. Long-suffering, hidden on a back shelf, complains to no one in particular. Well, it's either boiling hot or freezing cold around here. I wish they would make up their minds. Hey, Joyful, get your boots on and let's get going. The guys are already up, whistles Golden Incense. Elder, the wagon master. The old pottery wagons were once beautiful forms of art, carved out of oak. Their sides depict ancient victories over the enemy. Hundreds of vessels ride on wooden boards, slid onto shelves attached to wooden frames, and anchored to the wagon beds. Beloved and her little group are the last vessels to be loaded on the lead wagon. Master Potter strides purposely towards a man whose kind face is weathered and deeply creased with wrinkles. It's hard to guess his age, but Beloved believes he must be in his late 60s. His hair, once coal black, is now peppered with gray, as is his beard. His long calfskin coat gives him protection from the harsh winter wind. His khaki pants are tucked into boots, and an old slouch hat tops off his rugged appearance. Settling into their new surroundings on the wagon, the vessels asked Rembrandt, Who is that talking to Master Potter? That's the wagon master, Elder. He's worked for Master Potter for years and made this trip hundreds of times. He knows the mountain trails and passages like the back of his hand. Beloved looks up into the clear winter sky and notices a giant eagle gliding effortlessly high above their heads, encircling them and covering them with his expansive wings. The large shadow of those great wings falls across the wagons, preparing for battle. The vessels strain to hear as Master Potter draws Elder close for a private talk. They keep their voices low. The vessels lean forward, afraid they might miss something. Pulling out a detailed map, Master Potter discusses the dangerous trail Elder will be taking. Due to the heavy storms, Precarious Pass is the only opening through the formidable mountain range. Elder replies, "This pass is really dangerous. The last time we went through there, I wasn't sure we'd make it, but somehow we did. The warfare is becoming more intense every time we take the trip, and we've lost some vessels." Putting his arm around Elder's shoulder, Master Potter says, "My friend, I have faith in you to deliver these precious vessels safely to me at the Mountain of Fire, but we both know this is a treacherous journey. I will be interceding for them as usual." Pointing on the map, Master Potter discusses possible avalanche areas and places where thieves might hide along the trail to capture the wagons and take the vessels. And of course, Elder, you must be alert for demonic attacks elsewhere, everywhere. The vessels are alarmed as they hear snatches of their conversation. "Precarious Pass?" says Comrade. "Demonic attack?" chimes Loyalty, swallowing hard. They huddle closer together in beloved praise, asking the Lord for help. Her heavy responsibility for her team members is starting to dawn on her. Watchman. Excuse me. My knee. Getting some sharp pains there. Okay, let's continue. Watchman. Master Potter raises his voices as he tells Elder, "Here comes our faithful friend Watchman. He'll ride shotgun as usual and guide you through the formidables. He specializes in dangerous situations and will be invaluable." They both smile as they hear a big sigh of relief from the eavesdropping vessels. Beloved sees a tall, lean man walking toward the wagon. He is dressed in a leather duster and carrying a rifle over his shoulder. A wide-brim hat is pulled over his sandy hair, partially hiding his piercing blue eyes. He enthusiastically greets Master Potter and Elder. "He seems familiar," thinks Beloved, "but I know we've never met before." Barrels of water and supplies are attached to the sides and backs of the wagons. Elder heaves a weathered tarp over the wagon, startling the vessels. Their view is obscured as the drivers tie down the tarp to protect them from the winter elements. They huddle together as they are left in the darkness. Sudden movement of wheels jolts the vessels as they leave the threshold of the massive cedar doors. Beloved's wagon stops abruptly, waiting for the others to be loaded and pulled in behind. Finally, with a great jolt and a screaming chorus of squeaks and creaking, the wagon train sets off for the mountain pass. Far out of Beloved's sight, Master Potter hurries to the last wagon, carrying a small, recently glazed vessel. He lifts the canvas and gently sets her down. She smiles up at him as the snow begins to fall. Hearing a screech, she looks up as ascending white clouds cover the sun and pale the winter sky. The shadow of the great eagle falls one last time over her upturned face. Have you guessed who it is? "Remember, Purity," says Master Potter, caressing her cheek, "you were not made for this world." We are not made for this world. This world is not our home. We are just passing through. I don't want nothing to do with the world and all its sinfulness and its antics and its this, that, and the nitpicking. I would rather stand with God and be judged by the world than to stand with the world and be judged by God. I think you would say amen to that. All right, I hope you've enjoyed our reading for today. It was a very good one. And I need to always mark where I left off, which I'm doing right now. So they're on their way to the formidable mountain here, the Mountain of Fire. What will they run into? What will they withstand? Will some of them break along the way? Will some of them forget everything the Master Potter has done for them? Or will they make it through? They've all been through so much in their little lives. And I think we can all relate to, in our own lives, we've all been through a lot of pain and hurt. A lot of joyful times too, but we've grown, we've learned, and that has come through many toils and many snares. But we mustn't never give up. We must always remember the apostles and what they went through, and especially the Apostle Paul. He was beaten. He was shipwrecked. He thrown in jail. That poor guy, and he remained steadfast to the end. He sang in prison. He never lost hope. So no matter what you're going through, what kind of aches and pains and boo-boos, financial woes, give it to God. And just hang on that in God's timing, everything's going to be okay. We may not get it to the other side of eternity, but if we remain steadfast, we get many little rewards along the way while we're here too, don't we? All right, take care, everyone. Hopefully I'll be back on tomorrow. Ron has physical therapy at 2, but hopefully I'll be able to get up and get on in the morning or right after we get back. I'm anxious to continue the story. It's just getting more interesting, and we're learning more as we read each chapter. I'm so excited for Purity. I'm kind of wondering where her son Crusader is. We'll probably find that out later on. Hopefully he's going to be joining them too. Some people can't put hurt and pain behind them. They become bitter, and they remain bitter and hold grudges to the end of their life, and that's so sad. And let's all root for beloved, that Purity and Conrad will be reunited with them, and that they will become strong soldiers for the Lord. All right, everyone, you take care. You have a blessed day in the Lord.